Can you hear us?
To the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Freaky Friday. Today is Black Friday, so a little extra freaky today. There's literally no one else in the office other than us three, but we did not want to miss a chance to come live and talk about our real estate business, even on a shorter week and the holiday week. Still able to make a lot of things happen. So super excited. Hopefully you guys get some value from this video today in this episode. If you do, as always, please like it, share it with one person. If you enjoy these, we'll want to do more of them for you guys. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. But let's dive right into it. I'm joined today by our systems. What should we call your position, David? I don't
have a title.
I don't know. We got to get a title for David. But the incredible, like Red Circus, the incredible, the magnificent David Z.
You're too kind.
What
you're too
up?
kind. What's up, guys? Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Happy to be consistent again and
Deserves.
try to bring value.
Yeah. Just bring value.
Just happy to be.
How was the week, David? How was your week? Did you have a happy Thanksgiving?
I had a good Thanksgiving. Yeah. Spent it with my family, went to my uncle's for lunch,
Hey.
and then we head over to Matt's in the evenings because I don't know. We're basically a family here, to be honest, and that's why we even spend Thanksgiving together.
Yeah, David came over. We he ate some food,
Good.
hung out with the family, played board games. Yeah.
I lost. That's okay.
I hate losing. I don't want to lose. I love it. I love it. No, that's great. I mean, still, yeah, trying to be consistent and get as much done we can, even on a week like this, where it could have been very easy just to stay checked out, and be like, it's Thanksgiving on Thursday. So who wants to do business on Thanksgiving? Funny thing is a lot of agents that we're trying to work with, they're all checked out this week.
Yeah.
Like we were trying to get a deal done on Wednesday with Amanda, and she was just like, yeah, so I'm shopping today. Like, what? What do y'all do? That your client needs to sell their house.
Yeah.
You signed, you promised.
Their working hours weren't on the MLS listings. So.
Right, exactly. They did not put their office hours on there. I love it. And then we're also joined by the great, the one and only Joe Abeta. How are you, bro?
I'm great, man. I
Yeah?
feel good.
Yeah?
I got some good food in me yesterday.
Mm. See, I'm like sleepy. I got some good food in me yesterday. I'm like, ugh.
I feel that. As soon as I ate, I was like, okay, I'm going back to sleep. It was just like,
yeah, dude.
It takes it out of you.
Yeah, don't let Joe play you. He's got a Red Bull right over here.
That's true.
Yep,
Off screen, off camera. Got the Red Bull. How was your week, Joe?
It was good. I had a good week. We're some good traction.
Yeah.
Talking to agents, it's really a slow play, but it feels good to have agents, call back if you haven't spoken to them in a couple of weeks. It's like, hey, so can you tell me a little bit about that thing? And it's like, oh yeah, absolutely. So
hey, that's the key right there.
Yeah, 100%. To have them come back to us and be like, you know what? I have a couple other like listings. Can you just take a look at them and tell me what you could do? Like that feels good.
Yeah.
That feels good. Yeah.
Terry said a lot of positive things about your calls this week. Do you feel like you're getting better?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel so much better and like confident on the phones. Kind of breaking it down to people and kind of like, well, what wouldn't they be interested in? And kind of asking like, like addressing that stuff on the phone instead of just taking an answer and being like, okay, thank you.
They said no. Guess we got to move on now.
On to the next one. No, but it's like, okay, like, well, why wouldn't they be interested in doing something like this? Because a lot of times with talking to the agents, that's like, the first barrier to even talking to the client.
Right.
So it's like, well, why wouldn't they be interested in something like this? It's like, well, this and that. It's like, okay, well, let's address that. Let's talk about it. So
let's talk about it. Guys, I swear, like if we can get some company t-shirts made, let's talk about it is gonna be on there. Like just like on the back, it's just like our logo, and on the back it says let's talk about it.
Talk about it. Yes.
That's literally our lines. Like when agents they have something wrong, say, hey, so what do they like the least? What do you like the least? Let's talk about it, right? It's always let's talk about it.
And it works.
Yeah. And I feel like you're having better conversations. I hear some snippets here and there. I'm like, that's a lot better. And it comes to having good conversations. And when I say good conversations, a lot of times it's just like, how can I keep this conversation going?
Yeah.
100%. That's the answer. It's like whenever I was door knocking and talking to people in pre-foreclosure, it was always, how can I just not have them close the door in my face? right? How can I keep this going? You start asking questions and you try to appeal their emotions and how can I make a relationship out of this?
Yes.
And then you have people 3 years later trying to sell you their house, you know? So it's like
Yeah.
literally by doing it this way, like I think this is the whole crux to what we've been talking about. This is something that's going to pay you time and time again in years to come. So if you do it right, right? And not just taking no and being like, oh, they hate me. They hate me.
Yeah.
So actually, you just literally someone just texted in for you on my phone just now. Um, hey Joe, yes, I talked with Terrence. He was very helpful. He actually called while I was with my clients. He answered their questions. My client needs a little bit more money up front. Wow. See,
Okay. Yep.
this stuff work, guys.
Traction.
We're not just making it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So super exciting. And that kind of leads into I think a lot of folks reach out, especially right now. Like we did the real estate circle meetup on what was that, like 2 weeks ago now?
Like that.
Two,
Two
three
to
weeks
three.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to everyone who came. We have another meetup coming December 14th. So
Let's
I'll
go.
put that here in the chat so everyone has it. December 14th. If you're in Phoenix, we'd love to have you out. We do have a 60-person cap on this one. So if you guys are, like in the area and you want to be a part of it, please let me know ahead of time. It will be at it was at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Okay.
Also downtown Gilbert.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give you guys the location
Oh,
unless you RSVP. I'm just kidding, David.
So it's
No,
at
December 14th, 6 p.m. is when the event's going to be. So our second one. Love to have you guys out. It was a ton of fun last time having everyone out and connecting, and can't wait to do another one. So, but what happens is at these events, a lot of people ask what we're doing. They ask like, "Hey, what's working in our current business?" Obviously, we document this here on the podcast every single week. Terry talks about it. David, you talk about it. Joe, you talk about it. But I think more than ever, a lot of folks kind of need their hand held a little bit. About a month and a half ago, we launched a program at Start Virtual called Fearless. And in the Fearless Investor thing, it's more along the lines of having a VA help you grow your business and acquire more leads. But some folks need a little bit more hands-on like the coaching aspect of what's actually working, right? How do you talk to these agents? What do these calls actually sound like? Can you send me some call recordings? Joe, what do you say on the phone? Right? Because in our business we use a 3-point system, right? Between our VORs, you guys, and Terry, how do those calls get passed off? Right? When I keep talking about our infinite lead system, what the heck does that even look like? So we package all of this stuff together with the help of our team, right? So David's a big part of this. He built out our CRM for it. Obviously, we have you, Joe, and we have Adriana, we have Terry on the acquisition side. We've been helping other people here locally. I mean, heck, last week, if you guys tuned into the episode, you saw where we helped Brandon and Paige
Yep.
get their first deal. So shout out to you guys. It was actually their first deals, so they got two. But we want to do more of that, right? I want to highlight the team, and I definitely think that there is a big missing piece in real estate on communications, like trying to understand how sales works, trying to understand, like David, when you first got started, you knew you were just going to do whatever it took. But do you think like having conversations was a difficult thing for you, or do you think it was just like what was that like for
Oh
you?
man, it was so hard. I already knew I wasn't good at talking and having conversations, and I don't know, even taking rejections, to be honest.
Mm,
But it's such an important skill to learn. So even though I'm like on the system side now, I wanted to learn the acquisition, how to talk to sellers, just because that's the skill you need to be able to, I don't know, be successful in this business.
mm-hmm.
And so if I had to go on my own, then I can't build a system and make X amount of revenue. I need like
Right.
leads for my system and be able to close them. So yeah, I mean, being here was how I was able to close on a couple of our leads, just having mass feedback. Roger at the time, Terry, and it just takes time, practice, and dedication.
Yeah, but not everybody wants to go through all that. Right. Or then a lot of people don't know what they don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a big challenge at Start
Mhm.
Virtual too, is because like a lot of people come get like virtual assistants. Has anyone ever done this? This was me in the beginning too. I'm like, I'm gonna bet on myself. I don't want to cold call, so I'm gonna have someone help me. But luckily, I already had decent skills in talking to people, so it wasn't that big of a hurdle. But like, I can always look at folks that really struggle in this industry, and it's the people that are not good at talking to folks and they're afraid and they just don't do it. Right? Literally, it's the only thing that's going to get you to a deal. When you came here, it wasn't like we worked with you very closely and gave you all these skills and stuff. It was just like, hey, let's start making phone calls.
Yeah.
Let's talk to people and we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk
You know,
about it. Yeah.
right here on our chest. So, I'm also super excited to have that in the future proof system, because I think there's obviously been a lot of fear in the marketplace
Yep.
and continues to be, right? So like, even when the market's good, like right now, like a week ago, the Dow Jones rallied and people were super optimistic about inflation and stuff. And still, when the stock market was rallying, people were like, yeah, but it's going to be even worse.
Yeah.
Now that mortgage dropped for like a couple weeks, it's going to be even worse. Now next year is going to suck. It's like, okay, well, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. I don't know. Like whenever I first got into real estate, have you guys ever felt like from your family that they just don't take real estate very serious?
Yes.
Has anyone ever said that to you, Joe?
Yes.
Like when you're like, oh, I'm in real estate, they're like, oh, God bless you. What
Exactly,
are you going back to school,
yeah.
or are you gonna go? Like, what are you thinking? Maybe ASU bridge program with tech school, like whatever. That was me. So that's how I felt, because I was telling people, I was like, I was in real estate. I'm in real estate, and people almost felt like it was just like, hey, you're right. It's good. It's a good time to be in real estate. The market's really good, but it's a cycle. It's like they would say like all the things. And then I would feel it in the back of my mind. It's like, yeah, I want to make sure that I don't have to go get a job when the market goes down,
Yeah.
right? Because what happens when the market crashes, right? It's like, okay, well, like even right now, we work with a lot of agents that have a tough time selling their listings, and we know for sure there's gonna be a lot of people just getting out of real estate as a whole,
Yeah.
right?
Wasn't there a crazy stat that one of our TVs posted? Like
Mm-hmm.
just the past month or something, 30% of agents have already moved to a different job.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
What? Wait, what?
It
One
was
more
a
time.
huge number. Do you remember off the top of your head?
No, I don't remember the exact statistic, but it was like agents coming in versus like uh, I can't remember, but it was like something like, whoa, like this is a big shocker. I mean, even in real estate, I want to say it's like agents, the turnover rate for new agents is like almost like
Yeah,
80
it's super high.
percent in
Yeah.
general. And to see agents that have been in the business leaving, it's like, whoa, this is a shocker. I don't know.
Right.
Things are changing.
Yeah. So like that in the back of my mind of everyone else not taking me serious when I said I was getting in real estate, and they're like, okay, when you going back to school, they're like, yeah, this is just a transitionary thing. You're just figuring out what you want to do with your life or whatever, because we all get, I don't know, I don't really take too much pressure from my family or anything. It doesn't really bother me, but some people really get a lot of pressure from their family. Like, hey, are you going to be able to stick in this? And I just remember the person I was listening to at the time who was kind of coaching me through this. He was just a good buddy of mine. He was a listing agent. He's like, whatever you do, Matt, just make sure you're here in 5 years. That's it. Just make sure you're still here in 5 years, because most people are going to quit in a year. Most people are going to quit in
Yeah.
2 years. And if you're still doing this in 5 years, you found something, and I think like with that fear and, it's such a tough time for people that are fixing flipping, even on, just the traditional investing side, in a down market and a sideways market, I was always wanting to stay ahead of the curve because of that. Like I don't want to go get another job. I want to be in real estate forever. Like, what about you guys that are watching? Like, how many of you guys watching are like, I want to be in real estate for the rest of my life? Right? Put a yes in the comment section. You want to be in real estate for the rest of your life? Because I definitely do. And with that comes a tremendous responsibility to be future forward, right? To think, okay, well, what's working in a good market? There's going to be opportunities in a down market. There's going to be opportunities when everyone else is afraid. There's going to be opportunity. And when everyone else is afraid or unsure, that's when the market pretty much is just stagnant. Right. And I think that's kind of the phase we're in. Everybody's either waiting on it to start going up again and there'll be a buying frenzy, or everybody's kind of waiting on it like, okay, we can drop off a cliff.
Yeah.
But either way, we don't want to sit around and be complacent. Right. Which kind of, oh, shout out, Kyle. Thanks for being here, brother. What's going on? I don't want to slay your name. How do you say? Is it Ajwad? Ajwad? Is that right? Thanks for being here, brother.
Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna say that. Did I say it right? Ajwad. Is that right?
Wow, 19, dude. You're
Let's
killing
go.
Hey,
Let's
let's go,
it. Way
go.
ahead
bro.
of me.
Let's go. Kyle, thanks for being here, bro. But more than ever, I think just a lot of people need the right strategies. And it's our duty and responsibility as active real estate investors to figure those things out.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I never wanted to give up my real estate business. There was a lot of pressure. I'll be honest with you guys. Ajwad. Hey, I got, bro. I was pretty
Oh,
close.
you're good.
Let's go. Um, there was a lot of pressure earlier this year to just stop real estate in general, and just focus on Start Virtual, because Start Virtual is like budding company, and it was, well, we'll do over 8 figures in that one company this year, and it was like we just put all our focus in that. But I never wanted to do that because like what happens at Start Virtual is we work with a lot of investors, and I would feel like a fraud if I wasn't actually an investor. If I didn't actually have a business that was doing deals, it'd be really tough for me to work with other investors and be like, "Oh, you should think about doing this, or you should have a virtual assistant. I own a virtual assistant company." It's like, is that really the best solution? And I always wanted to just keep the business alive and keep it like thriving so it could be some way of like, hey, this is something to look at, that you could structure, like you can implement, these things in your business and it could work. And that was kind of the birth of the YouTube channel in general. Like I don't really hold that much back on the channel. We talk, and there's a reason why the podcast is even here. I want to talk about stuff that we're actually doing,
Yeah.
you know?
You guys can tell this is not scripted since
Yeah.
I said something about the location. But
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that really attracted me to Matt and what he's doing is, I mean, there's a lot of other people, right? Successful real estate investors out there. But during this, especially this year, right, as the market started shifting and it'll continue to shift and possibly recession is going to happen,
Hmm.
all the advice I was hearing because I was trying to break into real estate was buy cheaper, like buy deeper. Instead of going 75 cents for a dollar, go 60, go 50, and that's how you're going to make money. That's how you're going to make it,
Hmm.
right? But then Matt came out, I was like, no, there's so many other different strategies you can use. You just have to figure out what strategy works in this specific market, this specific time, and you have to keep pivoting. And that's how you basically survive in any cycle.
Yeah. Like, and that's a great point because I know those same people who say buy deeper had to have massive layoffs, right? Those same people that we both know
Yeah,
have a ton of employees, literally just had to like lay off half their staff,
I didn't know that actually.
right? Well, now you know. But like that, but that's just kind of how it is right now, industry wide. These people, gurus saying, "Hey, you guys should do this, do that." It's like that's just an easy thing to tell people. It'd be so easy for me to have no context and come here on YouTube and be like, "Hey guys, so here's how you invest in real estate. You buy at 50% of what it's worth. There you go. There's your strategy." It's like, well, that's
Yeah,
always something you could do. But like what opportunities are presented based on the circumstances that the market is facing, right? It's just like any other marketplace in the world. Like if all the corn in United States was like infested with insects and like no one else could get corn, do you think the price of corn would increase? And all of a sudden, if you had corn as a commodity, you think that would be like worth more money? Would you like it's just the house is a commodity and is influenced by external factors and sometimes internal factors too. But it's like, okay, well, what external factors are happening is going to affect us, and then how can we take advantage of that? Always. So we go with, all right, if we're working with real estate as an asset, who right now owns the thing that I want to buy, right? Or I want to control? Who is super frustrated or distressed? And those are the people I want to talk to.
yeah,
Literally that simple, right? Because that's where a good deal is. And I can do the same thing in commercial real estate. I can do the same thing if I was looking to buy a Tesla. I can do the same if I'm looking to get a deal in general. I need to be talking to someone who's frustrated or distressed, right? If I want to just go buy a car, I go to the car dealership. I'm not getting a deal. Those people don't need to sell me a car. There's 50 other buyers behind me wanting me to want to buy the same truck. You know, I'm not going to get anything great there. But where we as investors thrive is by always looking for the opportunities no matter the market. So when we created the future proof investing, so shout out to everyone who's already in like the fearless program. So you guys like Kyle, you're already like we're already talking through what's in the future proof, working with agents and our entire marketing system and how we consistently get more leads. By the way, Kyle, how's that going so far? Your agent outreach, are you talking to more people or less? Brandon, what up, brother? Happy Thanksgiving. Are you talking to more people or less right now? Because Brandon, I told you the same thing. With the agent outreach system, do you have more leads or less? Way more. Dude, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
That is what I'm freaking talking about. And I can't wait to like see what this system is going to look like for you guys. So many more leads right now with agents. I'm telling you guys, like this is what's happening. So like I want to show you guys not only like how that lead gen system works and how you consistently can go back and dig from that well and get more opportunities, but then also how to convert at a really high clip. And converting always comes down to, if I'm working with a wholesaler or I'm working with another investor who needs to buy 50 cents on the dollar, I'm going to beat them every day
Yeah, exactly.
because I can go look at a deal like this or that, or like Luciano bringing us that deal. So shout out Luciano, bringing us that deal in the islands that we're going to use it as an office, right? That would not work for anybody else, but it works for us because we went and looked at an office space that was like $3,600 for 500 square feet.
Yeah.
Or I can go buy a house and get that house will save me like $92,000 in taxes. I did the math. Like, yes, please let me buy that house. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's so many opportunities, and real estate is such a beautiful thing. But when you only have one strategy or one tool in your tool belt, you're gonna lose
Yeah,
to someone who
exactly.
has more. You know, it's like why do hedge funds, like why do they beat out most traditional buyers? Is because they have access to all the capital. They have so much money and they don't need to make money right now. They're worried about a return in 20, 30 years,
Yep.
right? They have more resources. They have better strategies. And all we're trying to do with real estate investors, I see emails. Do you guys ever get the emails with like wholesaling's dead or it's a dying industry? Or do you guys ever see people's messages on Facebook and Instagram? Maybe I just follow too many damn wholesalers, but I see it all the time where people are like, wholesaling's dying and investing's dying. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, maybe the way you used to do it, right? But this is such a great time for the rest of us that implement just better strategies of acquiring deals. So this is the move. What I like to do is go on batch leads and filter. Yes, yes. You go VA, FHA. I like conventionals too, so I wouldn't just shy away on the loan filters. So just to let you know. And by the way, quick nugget, if you're doing this, so Ajwa, thank you for this comment. If you're doing this, the more filters you apply to your list in batch leads or any other sort, website like that, you're going to be missing out on data because some stuff just doesn't report, right? So you got to think about all the listings that are on the market that you pulled in batch leads. Let's just say it's 500 in Dallas, right? You drew a circle in Dallas, it's 500 active listings. Great. Well, you put the filter on for VA and FHA loans, you're gonna miss out on everything that wasn't clearly reporting that. Even if there is a VA loan or FHA loan in place, you're gonna miss out on it just because it wasn't like in their system, right? You have to think about these websites as like fancy spreadsheets, right? And if I have all these addresses, there's a good chance that one of those cells is just empty. It could have a VA or FHA loan, but if I put those filters on it, I'm going to be missing it. So I would implore you to maybe remove that one filter, and it's going to open it up a little bit more. So, but either way, great strategy. So I've said all this to get us to the point of like, we've put this program together and it's a mixture of learning and understanding how to get more leads like Kyle and Brandon, but also to that end, how to convert on those deals by having the best strategies because you have the best exit strategies. I can acquire more deals when I know that I can exit in different ways, right? And then also getting access to the rest of that. So like we have buyers that we know that we can sell our creative deals to that are going to perform all the time.
Yep.
Right. So like our goal is to also be able to provide that for everyone in our program too. So I'm dude, at the end of the day, I'm just super stoked because this has been like a year in the making of like trying to put this one piece together. And then soon as I thought I had it right, the market shifts and I'm like, okay, now we're changing everything, right? We need to talk more about all these creative strategies. And I mean, we're seeing them play out with the deals that we did with Brandon and Paige. What's up, Paige? I'll answer this. Um, those were both creative deals. Novation and oh, that's a straight sub two deal.
It is a
The
straight substitute.
Jacqueline.
Yeah.
So like both of those creative deals. And the reason why we're able to make those deals is because we have different exit strategies, right? So we're showing that within the program too. And like there, I don't know, it's just so much with communication training, learning how to talk to people. There's going to be nothing like it. And I mean, especially heading into 2023, I think there couldn't be a better time.
Yeah, I can agree more to that.
Yeah. I mean, what are you excited? Because you put some time into this thing too.
Uh,
And a lot of it has to do with what you guys have been working with on disposition.
yeah, I think there's two things that make me really excited for this. One is just how different this program is that it really focuses on taking action. And helping you guys take action, right? And
Mm,
so with that, we have sales training, calls and recordings you can listen to, but also live sales training where you can listen to how we're calling. Maybe we can eventually get some feedback where you send in your recordings or you do live calls and we can give feedback to you there.
yeah.
Because I think a lot of
There's
just
a one-on-one aspect to that too with the sales training side.
cool. Yeah, because I think a lot of educational, it's just that. It's just education. It's like, okay, now you have all the knowledge, go do it. But like me
Yeah.
being being afraid on the phones, I'm
Yeah.
still gonna be scared on the phones,
Right,
even
but
though.
then you're like, okay, and that goes with like like all of this stuff. It's you learn all these strategies, and then you're like, well, it can't be that simple, you know.
Yeah,
Now I just have to implement it. That's the scary part. Let me go learn something else,
yeah, yeah,
right? And then that happens so much with any sort of opportunity in general. So like real estate's an amazing opportunity, and within real estate, there's a lot of mini opportunities, right? And it's trying to pick the right one. But the reality is, we go about this whole thing and showing you guys that you can do all of the things. It's not shiny object syndrome.
yeah.
If you know how to exit Airbnb, long-term rental, Airbnb arbitrage, hotel, wholesale, fix and flip, wholesale, all the things, like if you know all of these things, it's not shiny object. It's just looking at each deal as like a more like well-rounded approach of like how can I maximize the value of each one of these deals. And no one like it doesn't there's no program out there that talks about that. But the folks that hop from opportunity to opportunity, mentorship to mentorship, not implementing the things that you learn, it typically comes down to you learn something, but now what is required is hard work.
Yep.
And it's like, let me go see if there's something else better that doesn't require hard work. And I'm here to tell you, there's nothing out there that doesn't require some sort of hard work or at least something put in the front end.
Yeah,
Right.
for
That's
sure.
what makes it worthwhile. So,
And sorry, one more thing. But the other thing I'm really
mhm,
excited for is just like the community that we're building here, right? Because we really want you guys to succeed. And so,
mhm,
like, we just JV'd with Brandon and Paige last week. Somebody, I think Chris, just reached out to you Wednesday before Thanksgiving
yeah.
and sent me in a property in North Carolina, and we could give feedback there. And so, I don't know. I know what it was like being you and just being so afraid and needing like expertise or some guidance. And now that we're in a position to be able to walk along with you guys in each of these, it's just such a
Yeah.
cool opportunity that we just want to be able to provide you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweet. And like honestly, that's the reason why we do it as a team. Like been trying to put all this stuff together, but I realized I couldn't do it by myself and I won't be able to do it without you guys. Like I love for Brandon and Paige to be in the group helping other people get their first deals. Like Paige, would you guys be down to do that by the way? Would you guys be down to like help other people in the group? Because like that makes so much sense to me.
Yeah,
It makes so much sense to like, hey, once you know the way and you go the way and you show the way, it's then the next person's duty, in my opinion, to do the same for someone else. Right? After you've checked that box and you've like, okay, I need to provide for my family. Great. I make enough money to provide for my family. I've done my first deal. I checked that box. Well, then the next box you check is you help someone else check those boxes. Right? And I think that's the coolest thing about building a group like this. And honestly, like I learned a lot from Pace with him, like pioneering the way with the groups, like pioneering. Oh, we got Kyle Scott here. What's up,
oh,
dude?
what's up?
What's up? Like showing a lot of what that actually looks like. And I do think it's like it's super powerful because like all of a sudden folks start to realize even more that they could do it too.
Yeah,
You
for sure.
know, like especially like what you're saying, being new. There was nothing like this when I first got started. There was nothing other than just having some friends that I knew were doing it too. Like me seeing Cody do a deal gave me the belief that I could do it too. Nothing against you, Cody, but I was like, this if this dude can do it, I could do it too. You know?
Okay,
So, that was just my feeling. I think the whole purpose of doing that is, we want to be able to impart that to other people,
for sure.
but I can't do it on my own. Right. That's why like in the training itself and in the course and in the mentorship and all the stuff. By the way, guys, I'm launching it next Saturday. So if you guys want to be a part of it or want to be in being a future proof investor, next Saturday is like when the kickoff is. And everybody who's in Fearless, you're already in. So don't worry about that. Um, but I'm super excited because I couldn't do it on my own. So like there's a whole module going into like who's who. And I had to like lay out everybody. I'm like, well, you got me, and you got Kyle, who's dispositions, and you got Joe and Adriana, who works does lead management and junior acquisitions. You got David, who does the systems and all the stuff. We've trying to figure out a title. We got the communications trainer. We have Terry, who's my acquisition manager, going to help people close deals. We have the community. Like, there's so many people behind this. But I think the purpose behind that is like Sometimes people need accountability. Great, we got it. Sometimes people need a little bit of information to implement because they're already high performers and they're implementers. They're just missing something. Well, we got that too. Some people need a community or make connections and, to create long lasting relationships. Great, we have that as well. It's like it's the whole thing. And, that's the reason why we try to be as transparent as possible on these podcast episodes too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Joe, what are you excited about?
Just really the relationships, like for me, not only the relationships that we're creating like in the group already, but like with agents nationwide. I feel like people are gonna like start like connecting with the names and be like, oh, okay, I've worked with someone in your group before, and it's gonna be like we already created that, that rapport. People already like us, and realizing that like, hey, if it's not a deal now, it's totally fine. We're not gonna, we don't want a deal now. We want a deal in the future. We want to just be a resource for people. So really the relationships, that's really what I'm excited about, meeting
Yeah.
new people that are coming in, and meeting people nationwide. So I've already met some cool people now. So it's
Let's
it's pretty sick.
go.
So yeah.
More people bringing us deals, man. More opportunities to work with other people on deals. And then also to that end, it's like the relationship side of it of like, guys, some people wonder like, why are you just willing to help and it costs no money? Right? Why are you willing to just show us how to do your deal? Well, first off, I need to help you check that box. I need to help you get to your first deal. But the goal for me, honestly, is like I would love to be able to do something in the future with you. Right? I know for us to do the things that we want to do together, like create cool partnerships and like even Brandon and Paige, like we had this whole like multifamily thing we're doing with a relationship that Brandon brought. It's like that's the goal. But we can't do the things that we can do at a high level until I get you making money. Right? We can't create partnerships and create cool businesses. And like, I got connected with Frank, who does, media stuff and has a marketing company. I would have never been able to connect with him unless he done a couple deals, was in the mastermind. It's like, oh my gosh, you do this? What? Let's partner on something. Let's work together. Right. And for some of you guys, I just need to get you to that level. Right. I mean, you even see it with like Alex Hormozzi's content. He's like, here's all this free stuff. Unless you make $10 million in your company. And then if you do, cool, let's talk. I want to like work with you and like own a piece of your company. Right. My goal is to help you guys start making money so we can go partner on other things. So that's the move. Right. And that's the long-term feel. Kyle, you just came in, bro. You're not on camera,
Yes,
but
sir.
talk to the mic a little
What's
bit.
up, guys?
What's
How
up?
we
How you
doing?
feeling?
I'm feeling amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was your Thanksgiving, man?
Honestly, it was kind of wild. I woke up, thought I was taking normal Tylenol, took some Tylenol PM.
Let's go.
I took 3 of them. Supposed to take
Dang.
1 of them. I took 3 of them. I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling extra strength. And it was extra strength too. It was extra strength Tylenol as well. And so I'm like, oh, so like drowsy the whole day basically.
Yeah.
Come nighttime, I finally feel like I feel like my normal self.
Yeah.
For the most part, still kind of out of it.
Yeah, I thought
But-
Kyle was coming over for Thanksgiving.
I'm
but
like,
he was out of it.
brother, it was a weird day. I turned down, like my dad's like, hi, like it's like 12 o'clock. I'm like, we going over to our friend's house. You coming? I'm like, man, I'm in no shape to go anywhere. I will be passed out on the couch.
Hey, but we're working out after this.
I know we are.
Let's
I'm excited
go.
for that.
Let's
so yeah,
go.
I would have been passed out. I would have been a terrible guest to have. I would have been just like,
Yeah.
But I'm feeling good. It's Friday.
It's Friday, man. It's
back to
Freaky
the-
Friday. Let's go.
We back to it. Freaky Friday.
Let's go.
And I'm glad to be here.
There we go. Well, super excited because like in the program,
Mhm.
you guys filmed a video
Yeah.
on finding rat buyers,
Finding rap buyers. Yeah.
which is like one of our strategies right
Mhm.
now. One of the many exit strategies.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be really cool.
Dude, yeah, I'm
excited to see
excited
all
for
they
it.
get put together.
Yeah. Me too.
So everybody, I'm gonna answer some questions now. We have a lot of stuff like popping in that I would definitely want to take some time on. So thank you everybody for being here. Mike, what's up? Shout out. Facebook user, I don't know your name. So thanks for
Hey.
being here too. Honestly, this is probably either Adriana or Terry.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know, one of the two. But Ajwa says, hey, I'm running into a VA loan issue. Basically, the issue is that the seller has a lot of entitlement in the property that we are trying to sub to. And it will cause him to come up with a bigger down payment for his next property that he is in the middle of purchasing. Is there a way around it? The challenge is, no, there's not. If he wants to go VA on his next loan, there is no way around that. In the past, if I was buying a home subject to, and there was an underlying VA loan, which is excellent. These are the best ones because they can never get called due when you do a mirror wrap. If I could just do sub twos always, it would just be VAs. I wouldn't touch FHA. That's why I thought it was interesting that you're going after those. I would just do VAs and conventionals, but we like them all. We'll do them all, right? But there is more risk in FHAs than there are VAs. But when you buy a home subject to, guys, meaning that we're taking over their payments on the subject to more on the mortgage, um, they're staying on that debt, right? So the VA loan stays in place. And with Veteran Affairs, they only get a certain amount of entitlement as their benefit. So for example, Joe, you have someone you're talking to in Florida. What's the situation with that one?
So with this one, they want to. So he really wants us to assume the loan,
Yeah.
and
Which we cannot
yes, and so the thing is,
because we're not living in it.
correct. Yes. So with that, kind of, I think it's similar to your situation. Like
Mhm.
he thought if we were to assume the loan, it would free up his entitlement, which isn't the case. Even if we were to assume the loan, his entitlement would still be wrapped up in that home.
Mhm.
In our case, he will have most likely enough entitlement to move to the next city he wants to go to. But we kind of what we're kind of going about this one is there's a couple different strategies. For example, this one, he qualifies for going to purchase FHA. So with us, it's such a sick deal that we're able to come in more on it on the down payment.
Right.
Um,
So we
but
can increase our down payment to make the subject to work. But the reality was, if he was leaving his VA loan in place, he was not able to remove that entitlement to go VA again to still have enough room to buy his next house with the VA. But it still worked for him in FHA.
yes, yes,
So if you're running into that, Ajwa, I would recommend potentially looking at, talking to either a loan officer. If you don't have one, reach out to me. I'm happy to give you one, um, and see if they can qualify for a different type of loan instead of VA, because their VA stays in place. They can still go conventional or FHA depending on their income.
and another thing too with this case, for example, because this guy he still has a ton of entitlement left, or like it's I'm sure he like you guys know, but like you only get a certain entitlement per like whatever your your disability is or whatever market you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So he qualifies and like he has enough to actually probably go purchase another VA. So there's a whole process of how we go about that, working with the loan officer, in showing that that mortgage company how they can purchase another VA loan with that one still in place with us servicing it. So that's a whole workaround too. I don't know if that works in this case, but if you have any questions about
So
that,
in other words,
reach on out.
join the Facebook group,
Yeah.
ask questions, and our team will connect with you and help you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sure.
So, but free.
Yeah, I love these VAs. I love getting into this stuff.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of value, man. And I think like just you help somebody save one deal, like one deal. My house that I purchased 3 years ago was a VA loan that I bought, and I had to come to the table with $4,000. 3 years later, we sold it, and I made like $220,000. You help somebody put one of those deals together, that's infinitely valuable, right?
Mm.
So reach out. We're here to help you. Like there's a ton of money in these deals. Let's see here. Someone told me I can't do a subject to. That's not correct. You definitely can do conventional. Just in the most basic form, you definitely can do conventional. Now, if you're working with something that has like a second that will be ballooned on a title transfer or I don't know, like sometimes people get like down payment assistance with like FHA. What you want to do in those kind of situations is you do what's called an executory contract or a land contract. Um, so that always works too. And yeah, let's see. Paige, thanks. Thanks so much. We want to pass on everything we learned in the group. I love it. And Peyton says the program you're speaking of, is this through Start Virtual? Nope, this one is not through Start Virtual. So this is more like, hey, coaching implementation of our system, and like more of the creative side stuff. So really hitting hard on wraps and notes, to be able to acquire the kind of cash flow from a portfolio that you would via single family. So that's the move. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff to be excited about.
Paige
More
had a
than
good
anything.
question in there.
What is she? What'd she
Yeah.
say?
Something about
Email me something.
yeah, email me something in writing.
You guys answer this. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, so I could answer this one. So I assume this is after you've had a first conversation with the agent. So kind of what what I go about, because I get this a ton too. Agents are like, just send me an offer, just send me something in writing. So what I go about on that, I mean, obviously you want to try to get them on the phone. So you talk to them and be like, hey, Mr. Agent or Mrs. Agent, I understand your clients and you probably want something in writing. I would love to do so. Um, After hearing our conversation, I'm sure you noticed that we're definitely more unique in the way we buy homes. So, in order for me to send your clients the offer they deserve at that full listing price, I need a little bit of information in regards to the financials on the home. So, if I go ahead and email you over these questions, and whenever you talk to your clients about that, I would love to get you that full listing price offer sent over to you immediately. So that's kind of how I go about that, just because a lot of agents really just want you to send over an offer, like send me an offer, send me an offer, send me an offer. But realistically, for us to send them an actual offer, or that good letter of intent, we need to have a little bit more information in regards to the mortgage, what type of loans on the home, what's their payoff, and all a bunch of other list of questions I can send over to you. But realistically, like, if we don't have those questions, we're kind of just blinding and just shooting in the dark. We don't really know where we're at, especially if we're purchasing it subject to. So, yeah,
Yeah, it kind of depends on the situation too. You can just feel it out depending on the agent. And so something I've done was I typed like an outline of what a subject to or sale of finance structure looks like in an email. And that way they can at least present the idea to their client. And so basically it's like purchase price is going to be the list price. And I say down payment and I just XX, like dollar sign XX, right? I say buyer will take over subject to mortgage payments if mortgage exists, monthly payments to seller XXS. So it's really just an outline of what the deal's like, so that way they can explain it easier to their client, but it doesn't have all the numbers because, like Joe said, we don't really know how much the mortgage is, if they have a mortgage, what's their situation, how much down payment they need, and so that's the way we kind of go about it.
Yep. So you guys talking about the LOI?
A little
y-
different, yeah.
Okay.
I have
Oh,
a
just like
separate email.
outlined in the
Mhm.
email.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's a little less formal.
hmm yeah.
Could you? Does anyone here want that template that we have via email? Would that help you guys, or would that be helpful? Maybe we can share that.
Yeah, happy to.
Cool. Yeah. If you guys want that, if you could comment on this video, and we'll make sure that we try to get that out to you guys, if that would be helpful. But yeah, no, I think um, you're gonna get that a lot. I think it's probably one of the more common things you get
It
with
is.
agents.
It is. Yeah. If especially if agents want to just get off the phone with you and they don't
Mhm.
really want to further talk about it, they're like, just send me an offer,
Mhm.
or they don't want to even talk to you and they're just send me an offer. And
Right.
so that's kind of frustrating too.
So what do you say in that case?
So, well, so there's so we can just send them an offer. So like
Mhm.
we even kind of what David was going into, we
You're like,
can
"Give
just
me
send
some
them an offer.
context." Yeah.
But most times when we send that over to them, it just either confuses the agent more or the client's like, what
Right.
the heck is
I
this?
hear
Like
Joe say, "It's unique. It's a unique offer.
it
It's
is,
different."
yeah, we're obviously different. So yeah, I kind of just went over like the stuff we'll need, like the stuff that would be useful for us to actually send them that offer.
Yeah.
But realistically, it's just kind of building that relationship with the agent, because we have to make them feel confident that we're confident. It's kind of like Roger told me this like little analogy that really helped me out. It's like when you go to the doctor and he says like, I don't know, I mean, it kind of looks like you have strep throat, but it also kind of looks like maybe your vocal cords are like blown out. You're like, whoa, like what? Like, what does that mean? Like, you want
Yeah.
the doctor to be confident in exactly what he's diagnosing you with, and he's confident that he knows how to fix your solution. So that's kind of how like I've approached it now. I'm like, all right, I'm a doctor. I need to tell these clients
Hey,
exactly what's
whatever works
going
for you,
on.
man.
Yeah,
Whatever. Hey,
yeah. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like you just have to be, you have to value yourself more. Like saying, "Hey, I'm an expert on this,"
yep,
and that helps you with the way you come across. Like
100%.
when you're unsure of yourself, or you're like slipping when you stuttering on your words, or like you're unclear with your thoughts and how you're presenting it, all of a sudden that goes into the people that are listening and the other end. And like if I sat here on a YouTube video and I was like, look, creative, right? You guys would be like, all right, next video,
Yeah.
or like, getting off of this. That was really weird and awkward, right? So it's like
Yeah.
you want to be like be as clear as you possibly can, and
Yes.
then come across as like, all right, I am the expert. And it's the same thing with door knocking, same thing when you're cold calling, same thing when you're negotiating. It's like you want to be very confident in yourself. And even if you're wrong, or even if you don't know, just try to be confident. It's like, great question. I don't have the answer to that, but I definitely have someone here that knows a lot more than I do. Right.
Mhm.
That's like in one of our scripts. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, leverage someone else, even when you don't know. But when an agent says, send me something in writing, it's like, great. I would love to send you something in writing because we are very serious and we're buying a lot of these houses every single month. But there's a couple things I need before I do. Right. Because what I'm going to send over to you is what an offer on terms looks like. And you're probably going to have 100 questions. Maybe you're not going to have any. I don't know. But in order for me to formulate this, I just need a couple things from you. Is there a mortgage on the house? Right? Yada, yada. And we get the key pieces of information. And then you're like, look, if you don't like what I'm sending over, or if it's a hard no, or if you're wondering how should you bring this up to your client, or if you think your client's just going to automatically say no, one of our biggest challenges is when we send this stuff out because it's not your typical traditional real estate purchase agreement. Sometimes the agents that we work with get confused and they're like, you know what? My client doesn't even want this. Hey, if I send you something, can we at least go over it together and then we can talk more through it? And if it's still a no, that's okay. I value more about you, Chris, you, Steven, you, Susan, whoever's on the other line. I would love to do more real estate transactions with you. And if it's just a hard no and we don't know where we messed up, it's really hard to do that. Right. We love to be your ideal buyer. We love to be your pocket buyer you can always go to. Terry calls it plan C. Right. We love to be your plan C buyer. Maybe we're gonna rename our company Plan C Buyer. It's like, hey, plan A was you going on market selling for that price. Plan B, you start looking at, well, do I rent it or do we price drop? Plan C, that's us right here. Right. So, it's like, hey, however you need to present it. But the main thing is we're just trying to keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
So, plan C.
Yes, sir.
Right. Plan B is a whole different thing. So,
Yeah, so I was thinking of it.
so let's see here. Peyton said, I think it would be beneficial as well to maybe get a small list of national note buyers to maybe mainstream the first position. So it could condition note buyers to buy more at origination date. Absolutely. And Peyton, like that's more of like a 24-month project, right? Building out a note buyers list. It can definitely happen. I mean, there's syndications of all these note buyers in different websites and different sources. I have one guy that I use to broker all the notes. And he pushes it out. Obviously, he gets a little cut, so he's excited about it. But like sometimes that's all you need to get moving fast. It's like a wholesaler finding a JV partner that can just handle the disposition and transaction coordination.
Yeah.
It's like while you can be focusing on getting more deals through, you have someone that can help you broker your deal. It's the same thing with notes. It's like if I know one person that's just going to help me move faster and do more, that's what I'm going to do, right? But that definitely is something to try to build on as well as time goes. With like the end in mind. So yeah, we want to build that out. Let's see. Paige says at least a first email intro. Yeah, we got you. We got you. Let's rock and roll. And Brandon says, Matt, talk about some of the follow up you guys do with agents. Okay. So we follow up with them. I'm just kidding. I mean, Joe, in your relationships that you're managing,
Yeah.
when they're not ready to make a decision,
Mhm.
like how do we handle these?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple different routes because even if agents say no, not interested, and it just kind of ends right there, it's like, okay, that's totally fine. I mean, obviously you want to follow up and see what they weren't interested in and see if maybe it was, they had concerns about they couldn't purchase another home or whatever it may be. Like there's a lot of things that you can probably answer and figure out what really was wrong with it. But in following up with agents, I would say, like, let's say I talked to an agent. Actually, we had a case out here in Florida, in Jacksonville. I was working with this agent, and he's like, you know what, this isn't going to work for my clients, and I kind of figured out why, and it actually didn't work for his clients. And so then I talked to him, and I was talking to him a little bit further about it, and he actually kind of liked me, and so we just kind of kept on talking and talking. Turns out he had 4 other listings that were on market, and so I was like, okay, well, like, tell me the situation about these, and we kind of went into it like that. So if you kind of take it from approach of like, I would say if you're following up with agents, take it as a educational approach and see if they have any other listings or anything else in
Right.
their office that like
Yeah.
agents are struggling to
And
get
in a
by.
nice way, you want to be the dumber one on the conversation.
Yep.
You know, you want to stroke their ego a little bit, and because like if you're just the one talking, you're not getting anywhere. So
100%.
that you do that, being like, oh my gosh, this is a nice house. Oh my gosh, you probably do a lot of listings. Holy crap, you have 14 listings. Jeez, how's that going?
Yep.
You're like, you must be a top performer and whatever, right? You want to be the one that's kind of on the sideline. And I mean, that's just the easiest way to learn anything about anyone. If
Yeah.
someone came up to you, Joe, was like, dude, wait, you're crushing it, dude. What? You're doing what? That's crazy. Okay. So you're talking to agents on it, right? And you're like, you want to talk more,
Yeah. Yeah.
and naturally it opens up the conversation a lot better.
Yeah, and like another thing too, like kind of what you're going into, like kind of being the dumb one in the situation. It's like, well, like I mean, what's going on in the market over there? Like, well, how come this home hasn't sold? This is beautiful. Like, and then they'll kind of go into like, well, the market's kind of changed a little bit, and it's like
Right.
you just like,
Why are you still single? You're beautiful.
yeah,
Well, the market's changed.
but just really like building that relationship, and if you kind of like, I think everything starts with that good first conversation where you talk to them, and it's like they realize that if there's not a deal, you're not hanging up immediately. Like you still want to get to know them, know their situation a little bit more. I really think if you just kind of come at it as like, "What's up, buddy?" Like, how's it
Yeah.
going? And I think they're cool about it. But I don't know. That's how I would follow up with agents.
That's how you follow up.
Yep.
I love that. Cool, Peyton. We'll hit you up, brother. Thanks for being here. All right, guys. So we're at the 50-minute mark of the podcast. We haven't talked about our freak of the week yet. It was a very short week, but honestly, it's really hard for me to pick one person this week. I think all of us here on a Black Friday after Thanksgiving, we're all freaks. So I'm just gonna say all of us get the freak of the week this week. So if you guys don't know, every week we do the freak of the week necklace, and it's just really like I don't think any one person should get it this week. What do you think, David?
I think you should get it.
I don't think so.
You should. I mean, honestly, you had some rough days this week. And honestly, I think one quality in a leader is like how, or just in people in general, is how you respond to like challenges and hardships, right? And so we're all gonna have hard days. Deals are gonna fall through. We're gonna have to do things we don't want to do, or hard conversations with sellers. But then the next day, you came back. You're super energetic. You're leading us optimistically and all that.
Yeah.
And so, I think you deserve freak of the week, to be honest.
Dang, I'm trying to give it all of us.
Yeah.
Joe, what do you think? All of us should get it, brother? I shouldn't ask David.
Well,
Joe, what do you think?
Matt's a freak every day, so
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But
7 days
yeah,
a week.
honestly,
Ain't gonna
like,
allow that one yet.
yeah, for real, like, I don't know. I think you deserve it every day, Matt. But I think we honestly killed it this week.
Yeah, we did.
This week was awesome. Even having a short week, it was like,
I'm just excited to see the growth in you. That's why I feel like it should be a shared, because we're all up here on Black Friday when we could be doing something else. We had other people that were supposed to be here that isn't. So that's why I think we should all be, like, honestly, like David building out, finishing the build out of the CRM. I gave you like 17,000 tasks this week. And you're like, okay, cool. And you get it done. Okay. Hey, just got that done. Can you look at this? Hey, I'm like, whoa, dude. It's impressive. Joe, the growth that you've had has been crazy. Yeah, honestly, like just from the feedback from Terry. Terry says like really good stuff. And I mean, you've set him up with so many opportunities in Texas this week. Like, do you feel like you're making good progress?
yes, 100%.
Yeah. That's the goal. And then Kyle, we got Lunar done. Shout out.
Baby.
And we got a lot more on the way.
Yeah.
Kyle had to deal with some difficult conversations this week himself.
Yeah.
Like we all had to be freaks this week.
Yeah.
So that's why I think we should all get it. And like the biggest freaks is obviously you guys that come in and watch us on a Friday, just talk about real estate and talk shop. So we love to get to know you guys even more. We love to have you guys in the community. If you haven't already, the real estate circle is really small. You almost feel like you're joining the wrong group. It's so small. It's 200 people. You're like, is this the right one? Yes, it's 200 people. Join, be a part of what we're building here, because I definitely think it's going to be something really cool. And of course, Future Proof Investor launches next Saturday. So I'll be sending out more information on that this coming Monday. But more than anything, after Thanksgiving, just counting all my blessings and things that I'm thankful for and grateful for. Grateful for you guys that are here. And I'm grateful for everyone who tuned in and watched. So hopefully, again, you got value from today. If you want to be a part of the stuff we do, you know what to do. Go join the Facebook group. We'll see you there. Ask your questions. Our team is happy to help. We're going to get you the email template. Joe is happy to share any call recordings that he has with these agents on the lead manager side. At the end of the day, we need you making money in real estate so we can go do cool things together in the future. Guys, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for being here. And we'll see you on the next one.